Let me get new setup today. I feel like oh, okay. New setup today because different stuff. I have been out for a good amount of time. So we're getting back in the saddle, and we're gonna go in a different direction. I think the last time we were trying to cover the trial between OpenAI and Elon Musk, but um, setting. Um, but yeah, I had a lot of traveling and work to do. So we might get back to it, even though it might not be old news. Um, so um, still mess settings. I just wanted to go live. Just it. Um, cool. So I figured for today, instead of like covering stuff, I actually have more work to do. So I wanted, but I think like with the stuff that I want to do will be instructive. Um, I could answer questions and explain things as I am going along. And and yeah, I've also been getting back into bartending. That was a fun little side hustle. So I'm getting back into it. I ended up bartending a friend's wedding reception, and that was pretty fun. So I have all the stuff that I need to go through. So it'll be good to, maybe while we're waiting for Claude to do stuff, to make a drink. Um, so yeah. So what I have for today is um is I have been trying to build AI clipper because the ones that are out there are either bad or too expensive for what I need. Trying, clip up all these live streams, clip up other videos. The tab has been running pretty high. Um, so I decided to build it myself because I can do that. Um, so um, so yeah, so I've been kind of going at it. I've been trying different things, trying to find ways to do it for cheap. So I'm in the middle of it. Um, so I think we'll do that for the next maybe hour or so, 50 minutes. I do have a meeting after this. Um, so let me fix some things. I should have done this before I went online, but we can figure it out as we go. Um, if folks, now I know property. Wish. Um, if people have questions and stuff, ask. You're just trying to get this set up. Have this. Okay, great. Um, I do kind of patient this work. Okay, okay. Another one of eating up some time, but I think not show my entire screen so I don't show something by accident. And I'm going to add see. Um, I think this will be fine for now. I'll continue, and then when I need to show something else, try to figure it out. But have okay, we move this over here. So I'm using Claude to build all my software related things. So for the people who haven't used this, we could do like a quick little tour. Um, uh, so this is where you kind of land at. Um, Claude is just like Chat GPT on the surface. You could chat with it, ask it questions, maybe have you write, an email or redo an email, teach you stuff. They have like different models and all that good stuff. They also have Cowork, which gives Claude access to your computer. So if you wanted to open applications and do stuff or send emails for you, like all that kind of automation stuff that you can do for work. So that's Cowork. Um, there's, a bunch of settings. I've been using this a lot, as you can see. Um, but there's also Claude Code, which is specifically if you want it to write up some software and, and have you use it, you could touch it. We haven't quite got to the point of UI, at least for the thing that I'm doing. We're kind of just trying to give it some input, like an input video, and have it shoot out clips and then see if it's working and then kind of go back and forth. So, kind of how I have this set up, you have a bunch of settings here. Um, or if you want it to create code in different environments. Right now, I have it on local, so it's only going to look at stuff on my computer. Um, I have it pointed to a folder, which now we're at the crossroads where we were at again. Um, it has to be this. Oh, okay, it was this application display. Um, oh no, this is not what I. Um, properties. Going on here. Get rid of it. Okay. Property. Go back. Plot. Get it how stuff over so we can see it. Okay. Now we have. Okay. Because I want to show my Finder so we can look at the folders. Okay, I see. I don't know why. I see. Um, Someone said I'm doing a good job, but still haven't even gotten to the rum punch yet. Um, yeah. So I don't know what's going on, why this is so big. Um, uh, Looking at tried maybe this will be better. This is better. This is better. Okay, so we'll we'll work with this. So I have Claude pointed at a folder. It kind of works in folders. You can give it access to your whole computer, but I rather not do that. Okay, so Claude has disappeared. Why is that? I Claude, are we back? good now. Not like when I moved. That is that wasn't a thing before, but I think that's fine for now. Um, so I have this pointed to just a folder for this project. I have other folders for other little things. Um, so everything that it does on the computer will only be in this folder. So all the files, um, everything like that. So in this folder, I have um, okay, um, so I have a video that I want to edit. I have a bunch of clips from when I've tried to do this before, and it shot the clips out here. And there's some other stuff that we don't have to worry about. So I'm gonna hide this. So that's what's in the folder. And so I'm giving it a prompt. Um, there is another Finder window that I want to show, but we could go through the prompt first. Um, right, this might be a little bit. Make it bigger. Um, I'm working on a new skill. So I think already we have to like pause here. So a lot of people complain that, when you have Claude, try to write an email or maybe design a website or, do a particular task and it just doesn't do well. Um, and it's not necessarily wrong, but it's just not what you want. Um, uh, that's like when you would probably want to write these things called skills, which is just essentially like very long standard operating procedure type of instructions of, let's say, like saying like, hey, start with this, look out for this. So it kind of starts as just like a really long prompt that you could just use over and over again. um so the what people do is, they'll use Claude to do a particular task, maybe over and over again. Maybe there's a task that you do a lot. Like right now, I'm like clips, and I see that it's making the same mistake over and over again. Instead of like always typing out that prompt, I could just put it into a skill, which is essentially is just a text file. So like, think of Microsoft Word. You just kind of write out what you want, and then when you say, "Hey, do this thing," which for me is clipping, then um, it'll follow all of those instructions. Um, so skills are a little bit more than just the text file, which we can get into. Like you could put in examples for it to base it off from. So it's not just the text, but I've been working on a skill. I mean, it's technically a command, yes, um, but you could kind of think of them skills. Um, so then now we're gonna try and show uh, what I have, and where these skills are here. Um, I wish maybe there's like a way. I'm just gonna switch this to be uh very unfortunate. So I want to open where properties. Um, so first I want to show where all these files are because I think it's I'm just trying to find. Is this? And then we're gonna show it. So Claude kind of puts a bunch of we're just gonna okay. Property. I'm just gonna show what the skill looks like now because I'm kind of losing it with OBS. So I think this should be good. I'm gonna make this nice and big. Um, so here, um, it's kind of like how you would write, hopefully you would write instructions for a person. Maybe there is some kind of, um, you know, robot-esque kind of instructions in here. But, there's a title, there's kind of a description, what it's using. And um, it has like things like arguments, which is, uh, you know, when you're trying to pass in, you want to pass in like what is the actual video that you want to, have your AI work on. So, but then there's like steps. There's like a lot of like very specific like coding stuff, but it's just a series of steps. So you tell it first, get the video, which is, hopefully you pass in a video um, in your prompt. And then it checks for dependencies. So if there's like these tools, like video editing tools called FFmpeg, you don't have to remember that. But this is what it will use to actually edit the videos. And Whisper is another model. I think OpenAI, it's like OpenAI, like Chat, the same company that created ChatGPT created Whisper. And it's like another model, and it's specifically good at taking like a video or audio and creating a transcript for it with like timestamps. And this is what we'll pass to the video editing tool to say like, okay, I see these words at these timestamps. Let's cut the video here. So it's just making sure that these are installed. It'll download if you have like a YouTube link. If you pass in a YouTube link or just like a link in general, it'll try to download the file. It'll run everything. Um, yeah, it'll do some nerdy computer stuff. It'll get a duration for what it needs because it needs it. It'll actually put out the transcript using these settings. Again, we're just kind of going high level, and then it'll put it in at some place. And then this is like the kind of like the meat and potatoes part. This is where we give it instructions on how to select the clips, not cut it up, but how to select them. So it'll read from that transcript and then try to pick the 3 to 10 most viral moments that are suitable for all the short form media content. And then there's selection criteria. Originally it said 15 seconds to a minute, but I found that it would just sometimes like that's just really short, especially like I think the cap for Instagram for it to really recommend your video is 3 minutes. So I just said, hey, just cap it at 3 minutes because that's when it really matters. Otherwise, just make it as long as you can. Um, it is picking timestamps, um, the start and end timestamps from just how many seconds. So it'll say like there's a clip like 12 seconds in to 16 seconds in. And that's how it's picking the timestamps because that's what the video editing needs. And then there's just like a lot of other, you know, instructions on how to pick a clip. So this is the stuff that we'll probably iterate a lot on. This is just, and again, this I just had, before this live, I just had Claude just do a first pass. I haven't really, you know, I have looked at this, but I just kind of want to see what it comes out with, and then um, see what happens. So it'll pick all the clips. It'll order the clips by its best guess of what will go viral. Who's who's to say? Um, how much have I drank? Nothing yet because I'm still just explaining stuff. I was took so much time to set up. I do have 45 minutes, so hopefully we will get to making some drinks. But I'm just kind of explaining where we're starting at before, right after I explain this, I'm gonna just have it run. And then while it's running, I'll make a drink. Um, right. So it'll try to sort things out and put the selections in a format that it could then actually edit out the clips. And then it'll use this video editing tool to actually take this output and input it into um, a command that will actually edit the clips. So you don't have to remember any of this. I've never looked at this. I've never had to write a command for this. I just had Claude all like do all of it. And then after it creates all the clips, it'll output them, and then it'll tell us where the clips are and how to open them in a Finder way, so we can take a look at them. And then this is the part that I added in, where I made sure Claude added in is after it outputs the videos, it's gonna ask for like, hey, like what do you think about these videos? What should we change? And then it'll automatically edit these videos based on like oh, okay, like can you make this first video start like maybe like a second earlier, um, or a second later or something like that, or what have you. This iteration part is important. And then later on, after you go through these back and forths, I want it to add those, the things I wanted to change into this part. So then the next time we run this, if we're trying to do the same kind of clipping, we won't have to do the back and forth as much anymore. It'll get closer and closer to just doing it the first time, which a lot of people are saying, calling it like one-shotting the task. And then there's some additional rules. So that's what this skill looks like right now. Um, so now I'm gonna get rid of this. So um, now we know what the skill is, what this markdown, which is just a text file. Um, so I don't want to just run it. I kind of want to. This is something that I do sometimes where um, I want Claude to give me feedback on, because again, um, uh, Anthropic, which are the company is the company that created Claude. They know how best to like write the documents for their tool. So I kind of want Claude to help me refine this and maybe add some new features. Um, like I do want to have like here's like some model like clips that I like. Use this as a baseline when you're trying to decide viral, or you could put into this like here's the clips that actually did go viral. Um, Evaluate these based on that. Evaluate the new clips that you make based on these clips. So I'm kind of writing this prompt to kind of like on a meta level like work on this prompt I'll use for another Claude session. So I'm working on this new skill, which is the thing that we just looked at, and I want to test it out on that video that I showed in the beginning. Run the skill and compare it to the clips in that clips folder that just had a different output, outline the differences, and give suggested feedback to iterate on the skill. So again, I don't want to just like run it and have like make like the iterations on my own. I want Claude to help me and kind of automate running these. I'm gonna run this. I'm running it on Opus 5. Um, how do I describe these different models? So most of these AI companies have like different models, and you could kind of think of them as like cylinders in a car. Like you might have like a 2-cylinder car that's like Haiku. There's a 4-cylinder car that's Sonnet, and then you have like a 6-cylinder, V8, V6 sort of thing, and that's Opus. So that's kind of how I see them. There's also this thing called effort, which is essentially like how much do you want this thing to run? Um, you know, you can have it take a really long time and it's gonna more reliably try to give you the best answer possible. Or you could slide it over and it'll run not as long, it'll be faster, but there's a higher chance that it might not dive in deep enough to a problem. Um, it'll just quit too soon. So that's like another thing to play around. So I now thinking about it, I might just switch to Sonnet 5 because I don't think this type of problem require for heavy. Just literally just following this script that we wrote and then just comparing the videos. So then with that, um, we'll run this. Right now it's running. I'm just trying to see if okay. So it seems like it's going okay. Um, maybe can start making a drink while we wait for this to. It has to go through like that's a 1 hour video that has to clip up. I need to get my ice bucket out, so I'll do that. Ice bucket. I just need ice bucket. Oh, so have a jigger, my stuff. Uh, don't rush me. Don't rush me. I got my tins. Got a strainer in one. So we can strain out good stuff. Take the big tin, fill it halfway with ice. And put the small one on top. And then we'll pour all the liquid to this. So yeah, we're making rum punch, which is probably one of my favorite drinks. I'll go over what we're putting in. First thing is Appleton Estate rum. We're gonna use 3 different rums. Pretty bougie. And what's better pairing for rum? Yeah, we're gonna do Appleton Estate rum. We got Plantaray rum, formerly known as Plantation rum, but we didn't want to get canceled. This is overproof rum, so there's more alcohol in it. And then we're gonna use a dark rum. I like 10-1, solid, pretty solid rum. And then we'll put in lime juice. The lime juice who also makes, we're gonna put in passion fruit syrup. This is from Levels of Grandeur. Not sponsored, but what can I say? We got some grenadine, obviously, without grenadine, and then so I'm gonna really quick because okay. So start with your cheap stuff first. Mess up. So we're gonna grab. Start with the pineapple juice. 2 ounce. Like quarter ounce of. I like doing like the syrupy things first because we pour the other stuff in afterward. All that the bottom. Family. What else we got? We got 3/4 of an ounce passion fruit. Really good. It's fresh passion fruit. And then we have. See, the clock is still going. We have what is it? 3/4 of lime. Then we go to the expensive stuff. So we're gonna put 1 ounce Appleton. Short side all the way to the full line. Long side. So we got this, and then it's gonna be 1/2 ounce of our other two. So it'll be 2 ounces of rum in total, but one of them is overproof, so it's a little extra. And I put spouts on these two because without it, it kind of pops out. Little spouts. And that's it. So now we pour to our big tin. This, slap it on. Little seal, little opening right here. Grab it, bottom. And then you want to go until like it's kind of cold. I don't know if you can see cold and frosty on the outside. So you know it's good. This one kind of sticks on me sometimes. Is low. Um, hello, hello. Hopefully, okay. That should be better. My mic. Have this. Put the tin on top. We have glass. So I'm gonna grab. I don't have like anything tiki, so I'm glass. Fill it with ice. Store drink stay cold. Glass might be big. Then we. That's a little too big. But I was gonna do a garnish, but it kind of looks goofy. But I have so many of these dried lemons. Should put like like a dried passion. Little pizzazz. Build it on my computer. Um, it's still running. I kind of half expected because again, it's kind of going through that 1 hour video that I did, trying to describe the whole thing and pick the clips out of it. Take a while. Why? I thought I could just make a drink. I took the ice chest out, but I forgot to turn off the ice maker from making more ice, so it just made more ice. Let me go turn that off. No, I don't. Easy. Oh, and this is good. Not too sweet. You can taste that there's definitely a good amount of alcohol in this, but it's not what you would say is wrong. It's just really, really smooth, not syrupy. Got some good color on it. Mm, super good. Super, super good. Why I've been making this. Usually I make this as a double. So I knew it wouldn't fill the full glass because usually when I make the double, it fills the full glass. Mm. I figured if I finish this, maybe I could make something else, like a lemon drop or something. If we're still waiting for this. Ah, okay. So I'm reading everything now. So it ran the full skill. It kind of knew it would take a while for the transcriptions to be done. There were transcripts for the existing 6 clips that we had in there, which is good. So compare the two. Yeah. So it's just taking a while. Um, Click this. Been running 11 minutes. So yeah. Anyone have any questions? Comments? Are people gonna try making this drink? I have another drink that I want to make. Um, it's a twist on a twist. There's like French 75s, which are like gin, lemon juice, champagne. But then there's also Mexican 75s, which is Gila, lime juice, and agave, plus like champagne, kind of like a margarita. French 70 with only French 75 part is the champagne. But I want to do one. I have like a rose tequila, a rosé champagne. So I'll probably make that another time. Also, the smell, the dried lemon, really good. Yeah, 5 people. I didn't even notice. Now I'm nervous. Now I'm nervous. Um, so yeah, once this finishes, this is gonna. I knew this was gonna be the longest thing. Then we should have like some good stuff to. You should give us feedback on the old clips versus the new clips. Give us like a first pass of this is where we can improve our prompt. And again, like going through this cycle like 4 or 5 times, hopefully we'll get something that will replace. There's like all these tools that I've tried, like Opus Clips and Descript, stuff like that. They're like, I think some of them, I think Opus Clips was like $30, $50 a month. But then I went through, but then they give you a certain, like, you can only do, like, let's say 1 hour of video for it to clip. Right. So this 1 hour video ate up my whole month's worth of, um, I guess, like allotment. And so then I had to pay out of pocket outside of my subscription for like the next video. I was like streaming 3 times a week, so it would be 3 hours worth of video every week. Yeah, there was no way. Now you could say, well, then why don't you just edit it yourself? But if you've ever edited a video before, it's oh, and I'd rather just edit it once and put like, which is essentially what we're doing, is like we're trying to get some really good clips out of this video and have AI do it and learn how to do it. So then I don't have to edit all the other ones. It's kind of like training someone to do, like, training an editor. Like, okay, here's how I want clips. And then so yeah. That's why I'm like going on this journey. Um and it's surprising how much like these models can do, because I didn't even really think about, you know, like now in a post AI world where, yeah, like usually if someone like wrote like a clipping tool like that, it would be impossible for someone not already a coder um to build like a tool like that. Um maybe uh while we wait, I could kind of show what these tools look like. New window. So move it over here. And then I'm gonna switch quad Chrome. Um, because I think Yeah, this is kind of what a lot of people use. Um, so this is essentially what I'm trying to replace. And they have like really nice UI. A bunch of people use it, but really, what we're building now is essentially what they're doing. They're just like way farther along. They have way more features, but they're using just AI to just with the tools that we're using now, like that video editing tool. They're essentially just having the model go through a series of instructions on how to pick the clips, um, and then they just wrap it in a nice, I don't know if I'm still like signed in. Oh yeah, I am. But my clips are gone, I think, because they only. That's the other thing is once they do clip it, I have to like download them. Otherwise, they just get rid of it, which is kind of annoying. Um, so yeah, so they have like all these different features, but again, it's just all all a wrapper around. So yeah, I didn't think of like, oh, I could just literally build this, and I don't have to really write any code. Like as uh, everything that I showed you now, I didn't write. I just said, hey, the only thing I really did that was like coding was downloading like Whisper and downloading this other tool, getting them set up so then Claude can access them. But then after that, that's it. You really just have like this prompt, um, and we just have to make it better. It'll do what we need to do. Um, let me move this back. Property, Claude, move this back. And the transcription finished. Look at that. Perfect timing. So now it's gonna go through, which I mean, we should go through it as well, but we could just see what Claude says because it can just move so much faster when it's like, it's not really watching the videos. It's probably just going transcripts. And which is like the only caveat to using like an AI clipping tool because you could look at the transcripts, but you won't. There's like so much more to when people are making content than just really the text of what they're saying, how they're saying it, their body language. Like, there's there's just a lot there. Like that's just non. There's a lot to communications than just like the strict text of what you're saying. So it's not really getting all of that. Um, but I think this like once we have like a tool like this, it would be like a really good first pass. Um, and then even if you go through the video, like the full 1 hour video, and you find other clips, you could tell Claude like, hey, can you make this thing a clip from like whatever seconds to whatever seconds, and then add all of my flourishes on it, like the way I want to do captions, the way I want to do the intro and outro. Maybe there's like some B-roll or zoom in. Like there's like all these other things that we could add on to like that is kind of the same ish. That's like a part of our brand. And yeah, and then that it could, Claude can just for us. Um, so I think there is like a middle ground. I don't think editors are complete. They won't have a job. Because also Claude doesn't have the input of like knowing how these algorithms work, and you know how the Instagram algorithm is different from the TikTok algorithm. That's like everything like an editor. And maybe like over time we could put that into text too. So then um, now it's saying, let me check the result and move to clip selection. Now I have the full transcript. Let me pull the word level timestamps around the strongest candidate moments to nail precise cut boundaries. Yeah, okay, now it's generating the clips, or it's generating the selection. So it's gonna write the selections into text and then run that video editing tool to actually cut up the video into um, those selections. But then also with Whisper, not only can you get a whole transcript and then cut up videos, you could do captions too. Get free captions and it'll automatically caption said because it has like the transcripts from Whisper. Claude can, you know, use that video editing to like burn on whatever captions you want and you could pick your style. Like, right, we don't have like any fancy UI to pick styles, which is I want out of like one of those AI editing tools, but we could always just save like more than $50. Or and save a bunch of time from having to do already edited the clips. It posted them into it's nice that it posted them into the chat. I thought I was gonna have to open my computer and look at the clips. Um, okay, so let's see what it says. Ran that command slash skill um against my video with Whisper, which is again like takes audio and video and cuts it up into a transcript with timestamps on it. It picked the viral moments from that transcript and then um, cuts it into the 6 clips that we have above. Um, it also transcribed the clips. Okay, so the clip, so the because I remember I didn't do transcriptions of the clips. It not only did it do the full length video, but at the same time it transcribed the clip so you could compare the two and match their audio content back against the full transcripts to see exactly what moments they cover. The big finding: 5 of your 6 reference clips don't contain what their file name says. Oh, okay. So the file name. So I had this school principal, which I think was like an example. Oh yeah, I was covering this story. Um, but I guess like the clips from the last time I did this are not matching what the file names are. Okay. So what I was doing before was like way worse than what I'm trying to, which is good. I mean, I don't expect this to be good from the get go. Every one of these existing clips also ends mid sentence, never a payoff. Clip 3 literally stops at I feel like for the most, and clip 5 trails until thought. Okay. Okay. So Claude is making fun of Claude for being bad. Um, Whatever produced these reference clips likely picked a good hook quote for the file name label, but then cut the video at an unrelated stale timestamp and the fixed duration instead of a real sentence boundary for the end. I don't even remember. Okay. Um, so they also pick that I covered a story of a school principal using Claude to build an app for his to do laundry for his daughters, which is like a very dad thing to do. But um, okay, it seems like these are a lot better. Contains its own full setup and payoff, verified word by word against Whisper's timestamps, and each hook is generated from the exact quote instead of its own time range, not from somewhere else in the. And then this is why I kind of ran it in this way, where I had Claude run a skill for Claude and then compare the outputs and then try to give me feedback, because then now we get like free feedback. Um, yeah, so it's giving itself feedback based on like the references that it used, what it did now. Mm. I'm kind of just reading through. Consider a minimum payoff buffer for joke story clips. Require the end timestamps to be for the very last words, not just after the setup. This was cause truncate. Sitting between the good story beats, worth explicitly to model in step 6 to skip extended Claude or walkthroughs. Strong. There's That's what several of the old clips seem to have drifted from. And then and then now it can ask us, hey, do you want to tighten up um, this skill based on whatever this feedback is or what have you? Um, so yeah, so you can use this. I mean, I'm using this for a clipper, but you could literally do this for whatever thing that's in your life. To just start with like, okay, I'm trying to do, because I didn't even really write that initial document that we looked at. I just had Claude. I just said, Claude, hey, I'm just trying to do a viral clipper. Here's like kind of like where like I'm at, and then it just wrote a document out, and then we're using Claude to just edit it over based on what we're trying to run it through. So you can literally do this with anything. Um, I think like the big problem that people have is if AI doesn't do it correctly the first time, then it's like garbage. But I think this is where it starts getting good. Not only can you improve it, it can self improve based on like the input and the output. You going back and forth with it, and then it could write, but it learns down. So when you boot up Claude or ChatGPT again, it can just read that and just remember what it's trying to do. Um, so I think we'll stop here. Maybe I'll work on this a little bit on my own, or I might just save it for the next live. But I think this is a good stopping point because it kind of, we made our drink. We got, we executed on some stuff. Um, and I think the iteration part could for another live. But thank you for joining. Or if you're watching the VOD, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, typical stuff. If you like this format better than the other things that I've been doing, I've been trying to do different types of content to see what I like. I kind of like this a little bit more. Not only do I get a drink in, but I am teaching while I'm trying to execute on like little projects that I'm trying to do for myself. So I kind of like this one. Um, but let me know what y'all think. Comment, um, follow, uh, all the typical good stuff. Yeah. Sorry for the technical difficulty. I'll try to do more better prep. All right. Bye, y'all.